In e-commerce, there are 3 metrics you can influence to increase your sales. That's visitors to your site, conversion rate, and average order value. Some like to replace the AOV, so average order value, with customer lifetime value, but I'll talk about that later in this video. If you boost any of these 3 metrics, you will increase your revenue. Tips with punch. Hello internet people, my name is Robert, and on this channel I focus on e-commerce tutorials and tool reviews. Most e-commerce shops just focus on the first lever. You increase the visitors and then the revenue goes up. It's pretty simple, right? But this comes at a cost since the extra traffic is usually driven by ads, so you pay to drive the traffic. And here's another problem, and at some point it will get harder to find new people to try out your product. On top of that, you are missing a huge opportunity because no matter how many visitors you bring, you have a leaky bucket, meaning a lot of people leak out before buying something. And the more you can plug those holes, the more sales you can generate. So let's say 100 people visit your website a week and you have a conversion rate of 3%. That means out of every 100 visitors to your website, 97 leave without a purchase. No matter how many people you bring, the ratio stays the same unless you fix those leaks. Now, I like to think about this as a funnel. In this case, we have an e-commerce funnel here, and it always starts, you have your visitors, then for example, you have product views, adds to cart, start checkouts, and purchases. So it's like a funnel like this, and always some people drop off. It's normal. But if you can just improve by 5% each of these steps, so the conversion rate for each step will go 5% higher, you end up with disproportionately higher purchase rates because this is 45% higher than this, just because you improve 5% here, 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 and here. It's much easier to improve 5% in each step than trying to improve 45% in one of the steps, because it has this compound effect. If you're able to make small changes, small improvements to the whole flow of your website, you're going to have much higher success. Let's take a look at how to identify the leaks and also how to plug them. Look, do you ever go to buy something on a website, then get frustrated and just give up? Maybe the website loads like it's the 90s, there's not enough information about the product, or it just looks super dodgy. To improve the conversion rate, you need to find where people feel frustrated. Luckily, we have tools that help us find the leak. I usually start my search in my analytics tool like Google Analytics. Let me show you what I mean. So to find where your leak is, you can use Google Analytics. I'm gonna use GA4 because that's the latest one, and anyway, the old GA will go away soon. So here you can go just to explore, and then you can start a new funnel here. I already made a funnel. This is like Google's test account, so I already made it here. So this one. And if you want to learn how to generate and use this funnel, just check out the video. There's a banner here at the top right corner showing up now. If you click on that, you'll get to a tutorial. And it's simple. I have e-commerce events here. I have the view item in list, view item, begin checkout, and then purchase. So the first one means that somebody saw the product on a lister page, then somebody viewed product page itself, then you have begin checkout and made the purchase. So when I look at the funnel like this, I like to see what the abandonment rate is. So for example, here you see about half of the people leave between viewing item and, viewing a list and then an item. And then you have a huge drop off between the item and the checkout. This is something I would look into. 80% of people who saw a product do not start a checkout. That is huge. So this is where I would look into. So why? So once you've identified the biggest drop and where it's happening, you need to find out why it's happening. Sometimes you can just go to the website and test it yourself. Some issues are super apparent and you just spot them immediately. But most likely you will need to use a tool like Hotjar or Mouseflow to see user session recordings. Here's an example of one. Now, recordings are super cool. This is a Hotjar, and this is like a one-page shop, and you can see if I press on play, I can actually view what a person is doing on this website. You see they're scrolling through it, they're just looking how the page looks like, and then if they click on something, you see it. So here you see the person clicked to see the product, and now you just follow them along their journey. And this is just a great way to learn more about your users and how they behave on your website and where the leak might be. And if you want to learn more about Hotjar, then just click on the banner at the top right corner and you'll see a tutorial. If this didn't help, you can also conduct user research. So for example, doing an online survey or talking to the customers directly. For example, it's super easy to get direct user feedback on platforms like Try My UI. You set up a question or a task for people to do, and the platform finds people to participate in the test. And it's quite affordable actually. Now, once you've found out where the issue is happening and roughly why or what is happening, then you need to either fix it if it's obvious, or try to come up with new solutions and test them. So for example, if you see people drop off on your shipping details page and you discovered it only happens to people that didn't reach the free shipping threshold, then maybe you can test if lowering the shipping fee would increase the conversion rate. Obviously, you need to find a balance between higher conversion rate and higher cost because of the shipping costs, right? To dive deeper how to plug those holes and increase your conversion rate, I recommend you learn a bit about conversion rate optimization. I have a 15-minute video on the topic. You can see it by clicking on this banner here, it's somewhere on top. All the big tech companies and many scale-ups are adopting this way of working. But essentially, you can come up with solutions to the issues visitors are having on your website and then test if they work. This way, you only implement improvements that actually work for the customer. And hey, if you need any help with increasing revenue through optimization, you can check my e-commerce courses and services. The link will be in the description. Now let's talk about average order value because it's a super interesting one. Obviously, the easiest way to improve this is to raise prices. Now I get it, for many it's not an option, but from time to time you need to consider it. Especially with all the inflation we're seeing right now, you might need to do it. But if that's not an option, there are a few ways to increase AOV in other ways, and I encourage you to explore these and test, because what works for one shop doesn't necessarily work for others. To increase AOV, you can do these 5 things: upsell, cross-sell, set a threshold, bundle products into packages, or improve customer lifetime value. Let's talk about each a bit more in depth. First, you can simply upsell. So you try to convince the customer to buy a product that is bigger or more premium. A good example of this is McDonald's, when they ask if you want to supersize your fries or a drink. Or another example, when you rent a car online, you select a ride, then they show you that you can upgrade for just $20 to a more premium car. Second, you can cross-sell, so you sell products from different categories. For example, if you're buying a new phone, the shop usually will suggest a phone case and screen protector. They just go hand in hand, and that just increases the order value. A cool tactic that I heard recently on Side Hustle Nation podcast, if I remember correctly, this guy is selling bone broth and he sends an SMS to customers that just bought a product, saying something like, "Hey, thanks for the purchase. We have this new bone broth in trial size. Would you like to try it for $5? Reply to this message, yes, within 2 hours and get it in the same order. Obviously, this has to happen right after the purchase, but it's all automatic anyway. The third way to increase AOV is to set thresholds for free shipping or gifts. So for example, if you're selling cooking knives, you offer a free gift for people that spend more than, I don't know, $70. And a gift can be small, maybe like a knife sharpener or a case for the blade. This means people that are just below the threshold might add something small to their basket just to get the free gift. The same applies to the free shipping threshold. The fourth, simply bundle products into convenient or complementary packages. So for example, if you sell cocktail equipment and ingredients, instead of only selling everything separately, why not make it a nice bundle? For example, cocktail starter kit for gin lovers. You include a few tools and ingredients to make 5 to 10 different recipes, and maybe even give a nice discount on that. This makes it super easy for the customer, as they don't need to look all over your site for this solution. It just comes all in a package. And if I'm into cocktail recipes with gin, then this is perfect for me. Amazon has examples of these kinds of bundles, and they work in pretty much with any type of products. The fifth, improve customer lifetime value. So basically how often they buy from you. Now, this is not an easy one. I think this comes down to your products and services you provide. Obviously, in some fields, this is really hard. Maybe it's even impossible. For example, if you're selling solar panels, then, I buy solar panels and I hope they work for like next 20 years. But I especially see this working well for commodities, services, or hobby products. So for example, recently I got into home automation and I bought a basic kit for Raspberry Pi. Well, it works fine, but I want more gadgets that I can automate at home. So you see, I will keep buying these products as long as I'm into my hobby. The same thing goes with some lifestyle choices, such as barefoot shoes. They are kind of niche thing, and at least where I live, there are only a few local shops that sell them. If you provide an excellent service, I will come to your shop. Now, to make sure you're fixing issues that are actually a problem for your customers, you need to understand how to test your solutions. For that, you can use CRO, so conversion rate optimization, and I have a mini course that you can watch right here on the YouTube if you click on this video pattern. And it's presented by Ruben, who is a best-selling course instructor on Udemy on this subject.